everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Sana and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started. Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 12th of April 2022. Let's start. Who's the chairperson of the advisory committee to guide the semiconductor mission? So the Ministry of Electronics and IT formed a 17-member advisory committee to guide the 76,000 crore rupees semiconductor mission. And our Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw will be the chairperson of this committee. Also, Niti Aayog member V.K. Saraswat, Principal Scientific Advisor, and secretaries from the Ministry of External Affairs, Department of Expenditure, Economic Affairs and Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade will be the members of this committee. This would not be asked, but yes, chairperson can be asked. Answer would be Ashwini Vaishnaw. Okay. Now let's see some of the important and recent appointments. Who was appointed as Tata Steel's additional director and vice chairman? Answer is Noel Naval Tata. Who has been appointed as the new Foreign Secretary of India? It is Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra. Which Indian has been appointed to the United Nations High-Level Expert Group on Net Zero Emissions Commitment of Non-State Entities? Answer is Arunabha Ghosh. Next is, who was reappointed as MD and CEO of Tata Coffee for 3 years? Already Mr. Chako Purakal was MD and CEO of Tata Coffee and recently he has been reappointed. Who was appointed as Vedam India's chief HRO? Answer is Mr. Kalpesh Tiwari. Who was recently appointed as CEO of Flipkart Health Plus? This is Mr. Prashant Jhaveri. Who was recently appointed as the new chairman of Air India? Many times I have told you, it is N. Chandrasekaran. Who has recently been appointed as SoftBank's managing partner? Mr. Munish Verma. Okay. Next question. Which is the first state or union territory to include e-cycles in its electric vehicle policy? So Delhi government included electric cycles under its electric vehicle policy and it announced that it will offer a subsidy of 5,500 each to the first 10,000 buyers. And this will include both passenger and cargo e-cycles with a speed of less than 25 kilometers per hour. And the first 10,000 buyers will get 25% of the purchase incentive on buying the e-cycle as well. Okay. So do remember that e-cycles have been included in the electric vehicle policy of New Delhi. Fine. Now coming to the question slide. What is the repo rate after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting held in April 2022? So the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee kept the repo rate unchanged at 4% for the 11th consecutive time. And RBI Governor Shaktikant Das announced that the MPC had voted unanimously to maintain the accommodative stance and added that the reverse repo rate too was kept unchanged at 3.35%. Okay. Marginal standing facility rate and bank rate also were kept unchanged at 4.25%. Fine. Which state government formed a panel to frame the state education policy? So recently Tamil Nadu has decided to frame the state education policy, and for this it has created a 13-member panel which is to be headed by retired Delhi High Court Chief Justice D. Murugesan. Okay. Which state has approved renewable energy policy? So this is Karnataka, and aim is that in the next 5 years state will have 10 gigawatt of renewable power generation capacity, and by 2027 it will have a share of 1 gigawatt of energy produced from the rooftop solar alone. Okay. Also, Karnataka wants itself to be hub for manufacturing of renewable energy equipments. Okay. Who has recently been appointed to lead the Twitter's public policy and philanthropic initiatives in India and South Asia? This is Mr. Samiran Gupta. Which institution has inaugurated AquaMap Water Management and Policy Center? Answer is IIT Madras, and aim is to address India's water issues. Which Union Ministry of India launched the India and the Arctic Building a Partnership for Sustainable Development Policy? Answer is Ministry of Earth Sciences. And there are 6 pillars basically for this Arctic policy. What are these? I am writing it here. First is science and research. Second is environmental protection. Third is economic and human development. Then fourth is transport and connectivity. Fifth is governance and international cooperation. And last is national capacity building. Okay, so these are the basic 6 pillars of the Arctic policy, and it is related to Ministry of Earth Sciences. Next question. Exoplanet whose name is this, which has been recently found, is a near identical twin of which planet? So astronomers have recently found a near identical twin of Jupiter, which is located at a similar distance from its star as Jupiter is from our sun. And this exoplanet is located 17,000 light years from Earth, and it has been detected by a team of astrophysicists using the data obtained by NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. So scientists use Albert Einstein theory of relativity and a method called as gravitational microlensing to spot this particular object. Okay. Now coming to the question slide. Which country has devised an artificial intelligence based algorithm to identify the potentially habitable planets? Answer is India. Which institution released the Connecting the Dots, Plastic Pollution and the Planetary Emergency report? This report was released by Environmental Investigation Agency. Which country proposed P3? P3 stands for Pro-Planet and People movement during the World Economic Forum's Davos Agenda 2022. So P3 was initiated by our country, India. ALH 84001 meteorite, which was making news recently, landed on the Earth from which planet? It came to Earth from the planet Mars. Trace Gas Orbiter was launched to analyze the atmosphere of which planet? It is for Mars. Ganymede, which was seen in the news recently, is a moon of which planet? Ganymede is the largest moon of Jupiter. Jezero crater is a part of which planet? It is a part of the planet Mars. Okay. You have to tell me which is the brightest planet in our solar system. Just a simple question. Next question. Which country is the world's largest producer and exporter of palm oil? So Indonesia is the world's largest producer and exporter of palm oil. At present, the country is facing a palm oil crisis due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Actually, Indonesia requires its exporters to set aside 30% of palm oil products for domestic use, but massive price spikes for food and energy caused by Ukraine war will push over 40 million people into extreme poverty now. And India, which is the world's biggest buyer of edible oil, relies on Indonesia for over half of its palm oil import. Okay, so obviously India will also suffer. Talking about some questions regarding export. Which milestone has been achieved by India's agricultural product export in the year 2021 to 22? So we have recently achieved the landmark $50 billion milestone. Which organization publishes the Export Preparedness Index? It is prepared by Niti Aayog, and it basically tells about the states that how much they are prepared for export thing. Okay, so in this ranking, Gujarat was at the top, second was Maharashtra, and then it was followed by Karnataka. Which one disease of wheat causes a restriction in the export of wheat from India? This disease is called kernel burnt, and this is a kind of fungal disease in wheat. Which Indian state or union territory exported its first ever consignment of GI tag carpets to the Germany? So recently Jammu and Kashmir has exported the carpets to Germany. What is the India's position in the world as a millet exporter? We are at 5th rank in terms of export of millet. And which are the top 3 importers of millets from India? These are, first is Nepal, then UAE, and then Saudi Arabia. Which is the largest exported items among all fresh fruit category from India? So the largest fresh fruit that we export is fresh grapes. Okay. Which country has recently emerged as India's top pomegranate export destination? It is our neighboring country, Bangladesh. What is the name of India's first virtual platform for spices export? Answer is Spice Exchange India. Okay. Next question. Mission Raftar, which was seen in the news recently, was associated with which institution? So Mission Raftar, introduced by the Indian Railways in 2016 to 17, targeted an average speed of 50 km per hour for mail or express and 75 km per hour for freight trains by 2021 to 22. And a recent audit by Comptroller and Auditor General of India found that travel time of trains has increased over the past few years and overall punctuality of trains has declined. So the punctuality of mail or express trains over the Indian Railway declined from 79% in 2012 to 13 to now 69.23% in 2018 to 19 at the terminating stations. Okay. So since this term was in news, so do remember that it was launched by Indian Railways in 2016 to 17. So talking about some of the important missions that were in news, who is the chairperson of the advisory committee to guide the semiconductor mission? This is actually the first question of our lecture today, and answer is Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. Just we have talked about it. Mission School of Excellence project is implemented by which Indian state? So this is to be implemented in the state of Gujarat. Mission Integrated Biorefineries is an initiative of which union ministry? It is related to Ministry of Science and Technology. Which institution launched the digital platform called FASTER? And FASTER stands for Fast and Secured Transmission of Electronic Records. Answer is Supreme Court of India. Which organization has collaborated with Niti Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission to host the Atal Innovation Mission's flagship program? Answer is KidX. Who was recently named as the first woman to lead the SEBI? Important question, and the answer is Madhabi Puri Boch. Okay. Now talking about some of the women related current affairs, do remember that She Auto Stands is a initiative of the state Andhra Pradesh. Then Falguni Nair from Nykaa has topped the Huron richest billionaire self-made woman in the world for 2022 from our country itself. Okay. Then ICC Women's World Cup has recently been won by the country Australia. Can you tell me Australia has defeated which country to win this World Cup? Do let me know in the comments. Next question. Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports released $72,124 to which institution for elimination of doping in sport? So Ministry of Youth Affairs has released this much amount to UNESCO fund for elimination of doping in sport. And for the very first time in 2021, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport made contribution of $28,172 towards the UNESCO fund. So Copenhagen Declaration on Anti-Doping in Sport was agreed to by the Government of India in 2003, and India is a signatory to the UNESCO Anti-Doping Convention as well. Okay, you have to tell me what is the full form of UNESCO. Now let's see some of the static and current facts regarding UNESCO. Which of the following city has become first Indian city to get UNESCO's World Heritage City tag? This city is Ahmedabad. Which of the following city has been included in the UNESCO's Creative Cities Network for the contribution in music? Answer is Chennai. Rani Ki Vav, the Queen's Stepwell, which is in the UNESCO's World Heritage List, is located in which state? It belongs to the state Gujarat. Which of the following dances is in UNESCO's Intangible Heritage List? It is Chao. And Chao dance belongs to the state Odisha. Clinker boards which were added to the UNESCO Heritage List belongs to which region? These boards belong to the Nordic countries. Which state has the most number of UNESCO heritage sites in India? Answer is Maharashtra. Where does India stand in the rank of country with most number of UNESCO heritage sites? Answer is 6. So the top 5 countries with most number of UNESCO sites are: first is Italy, then China, after that Germany, then Spain, and then France. Obviously 6th is India. Which is the oldest cultural UNESCO World Heritage Site in India? This is Sanchi Stupa, and it is from Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Next question. International Day of Reflection on 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in which country is observed on 7th of April by the United Nations? So on 7th of April, UNESCO commemorates the International Day of Reflection on the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, and this day was established by the United Nations General Assembly in 2003. So this date marks the beginning of the genocide perpetrated against the members of Tutsi minority by the Hutu extremist-led government, and over 1 million Tutsi were systematically murdered along with moderate Hutu and others who opposed the massacres. Fine. Now let's see some of the important days. When is the World Homeopathy Day observed every year? Yesterday we discussed about it in detailed manner. Answer is 10th of April. When is the International Day of Sport for Development and Peace observed? Answer is April 6. When is the International Day for Mine Awareness observed annually? It is observed on 4th of April. On which day is the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade observed? Answer is 25th of March. On which day is the World Consumer Rights Day observed across the world? It is observed on 15th of March, and you have to tell me what was the theme for 2022. On which day is the 46th Civil Accounts Day observed? Answer is 2nd of March. Okay. Next question. Which bank signed partial guarantee pact with Asian Development Bank to support the supply chain financing? So Axis Bank has collaborated with Asian Development Bank for a partial guarantee program with the initial outlay of $150 million. And this program aims at supporting the supply chain financing for impact sectors. So under this agreement, special focus will be towards ESG, means environment, social and governance, and other priority sectors. Okay. Now talking about some of the important banking related current affairs. Ola just announced the acquisition of neobank Avail Finance. What is the name of Ola's CEO? So who is the CEO of Ola? Answer is Mr. Bhavish Agarwal. Accepting a petition of creditors headed by Union Bank of India, NCLT, that is National Company Law Tribunal, orders the corporate bankruptcy of which company? Answer is Supertech Builders. In 2022 to 23, how much has the government set as a target for the National Bank for Financial Infrastructure and Development to grant the infrastructure loans. This target is 1 trillion rupees. As per the recent guidelines of RBI, commercial banks can open the digital banking units in which category of places? Actually, Reserve Bank of India has released the guidelines on setting up of digital banking units, and commercial banks other than RRBs, Payment Bank and labs with past digital banking experience are permitted to open the digital banking units in Tier 1 to Tier 6 centers. Okay, and the budget speech for 2022 to 23 announced setting up of 75 digital banking units in 75 districts to commemorate 75 years of India's independence. Okay. As per the data from the RBI, which bank recorded the highest value of frauds in April to December 2021? So the highest value of frauds were recorded from Punjab National Bank. Next question. The new book, The Maverick Effect, narrates the formation of which Indian institution? So this book narrates the formation of NASSCOM, means National Association of Software and Service Companies, which is the apex body of software and IT service companies. So it is authored by Mr. Harish Mehta, who is the co-founder and first elected chairperson of NASSCOM, and at present the Indian IT industry is valued at $200 billion and it directly employs more than 4 million people. Okay. Talking about some of the important books, who is the author of recently published book Manas Ke Anmol Moti? It has been authored by Vandana Mishra. Who is the author of the book 1232 kilometers, The Long Journey Home? Answer is Vinod Kapari. Who recently published the book Role of Labour in India's Development? It has been published by our Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav. What was the name of the RBI booklet on strategies used by financial fraudsters? The book name is Be Conscious and it is to be written as this. Okay. Who are the authors of the book titled as The Little Book of Joy? It has been authored by Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. Book titled as Elevation of Life was authored by, it is a book of Anurag Anand. Fine. Next question. Which country launched the Earth observation satellite Gaufen 303? So China has successfully launched a new Earth observation satellite called as this by a Long March 4C rocket. And this satellite will become part of its land-sea radar satellite constellation and capture fine resolution images to help the country safeguard its maritime interest. So this satellite will be networked with the Gaufen 3 and Gaufen 302 satellites to form a land-sea radar satellite constellation. Okay. Talking about some satellite related current affairs. Which Indian space tech startup launched its first commercial satellite with the SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket? Answer is Pixel. Which country has developed RKA, means relativistic klystron amplifier, which can destroy the satellite in space? Answer is China. Which country successfully launched military satellite Noor 2 into the orbit? Noor 2 belonged to Iran. Which country has recently tested Reconnaissance satellite system? It is North Korea. Which country launched the geostationary operational environmental satellite, that is GOES-T satellite? Answer is USA. Which country launched a rocket to place record 22 satellites in space? So China has made this record by placing 22 satellites in just one go by a rocket. Okay. Do you remember artificial sun and artificial moon are related to which country? Do let me know in the comments. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.